may having a column for installation of Linux. Okay, some may having a column for installation of Linux or like a virtual machines because of the system compatibility or anything. Okay, or maybe you don't have a time to install now, but you want to practice. So online terminals are there, guys. Terminals are a bash shells are there. You can try it. So you can type Linux online compilers kind of stuff. Okay, these are all available. This is from the tutorial points. This is from tutorial points. Okay, maybe try this one. Okay, so this is a tutorial points. It is echo hello world. Okay, then click on execute. Maybe it is showing a result. Yes, hello world. I want to see ls small letters. It is taking and some other line. And not only this, Linux Zoo. Yeah, I got this information. Linux Zoo. Okay, so Linux Zoo. First of all, you have to log in with some user account. Okay, email account you should require to log in. And this is how to log into your PC as a root user or a alias user. Password is this one. Okay, just go through this how to log into Linux Zoo, and you will get a basic shell and all kind of stuff, tutorials kind of stuff will come up. So if you are unable to, it is also showing same thing. I put a ls. Okay, you can try on a Linux Zoo also, and of course,
Sir, Linux
you
and Kali Linux are same, sir.
what it is?
Sir, Kali Linux and Linux are same, sir.
No. Kali Linux is a backtrack Linux is updated into Kali Linux. Kali Linux is basically used for a hacking purpose. That cyber security related tools are pre-installed inside, or you have to install. So that is a Kali Linux. Kali Linux is a separate purpose of Linux. It is. So what we are going to learn is enterprise Linuxes, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, CentOS Linux, Fedora, these kind of enterprise related Linux, which is for a server purpose. Okay. Even though Ubuntu is also separate. Ubuntu is a Ubuntu desktop, Ubuntu servers. Little different command lines are little different. The commands are common commands are works, but package management related a little different. Okay, Linux online compilers and Linux extensions. So this is a Chrome extension. There you can find a Linux extensions also. So you can install a Linux on your Google Chrome, but you have to read properly. And if anything goes wrong, that is up to you only. Okay, up to you only. So it may good, may not be good for you. So you can try yourself also. So you can use your web browser for practicing it. That is The basic things are available in the form of practice purpose. Okay, so online terminals or online shells, online executable compilers also available, but I am not much available. So, but here it is. Already I told what is that. Nettech had already told. Okay. Nettech when you open OS and IT, already I shared the link to you. Go to Linux Unhatched and Linux Essential. Both are free courses. This is a beginners. This is intermediate. Go with the beginners first. Okay. So you can easily complete the course. It may take 8 hours. You said 8 hours, maximum 2 to 4 hours. Maximum you will complete if you in a single sit. In a single sit. This Sunday, sit it for 2 to 3 hours. Obviously, you will finish it. Finish the course, write the exam, complete the survey, download the certificate. Then you will get certificate also. There's some introduction certificate. And also another one is essentials. If you like, you can go to essentials also. Python also there, guys. Already I told programming. Python is also there. So batch 15. So again, I'm telling it is better go with the Python. Okay. So it is better for you. What is this? It is always better for you. So that's the point. Next, here it is. Already yesterday told how to download. Download CentOS. And we will create virtual machine. Then we install CentOS 7. Yes, Linux means a kernel. Remember, Linux means a kernel. And Linux is built by Linux kernel developed by Linus Torvalds. Developed by Linus Torvalds. Okay, and Linux kernel, it is a kernel, right? So the kernel taken by different organizations and developed and released. So different distributions of Linux is important one is Red Hat. So Red Hat organization released it as a RHEL, Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Okay. Fedora Linux is there. Fedora Linux is there. Okay. Oracle also now it is Oracle Enterprise Linux is also there. Oracle Enterprise Linux is also there. CentOS and Red Hat both are same, look like same. Okay, so but Red Hat, if you go to Red Hat website and you want to Red Hat and Oracle also now under Oracle, Red Hat is came. Okay, like a Sun Solaris also is a part of Oracle now. Same thing, Red Hat is also part of Oracle now. Okay. So whatever it is, you need a login, username, password. So why we need that much of headaches? Okay, authentic repositories. So a lot of little small headaches are there. So why we go to that much? So I'm using CentOS. CentOS for download very easy, pretty straightforward. No need to register. And what are the things you work with Red Hat? Same thing, same commands you work here. Okay. Yes, other distributions are so there like a Debian. Okay, so for a scientific Linux Mint, Ubuntu, Ubuntu desktop and server both are there. In Ubuntu desktop and server is there. Linux Mint is there. Okay, Linux Mint. So its name is Linux Mint, not just a mint. Linux Mint. Okay, so different type of distributions are there. So either you should use, either it is used RHEL 5 or 6 or 7 or 8. 8 is not mentioned in your syllabus, so that's 8 is also available. 8 is a new version, but so you can use it, or you can use, okay, Red Hat, Oracle Enterprise Linux, same thing, 5, 6, 7. But I'm using CentOS 7. I'm using, okay. So this I'm putting a marking which you can go and use it based on your requirement. Okay, guys, again I'm telling Red Hat Enterprise Linux is same as a CentOS is same as Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Okay, but you can easily download Red Hat Enterprise Linux, easily download, and no registration requirement, and online repositories are very easy. Okay, so that's the thing. Remaining thing like a installation, working, connecting, package management, commands, shell commands, kernel commands, everything is same. Okay, you want to write an examination for Red Hat Enterprise Linux, you can start working with the CentOS also same. Okay, so no problem. Next again, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, you want to become a certified person. To become a certified person, then there is a 2 certifications are there, RHCSA, RHCA, Red Hat certified server associate, something like that. So next one is Red Hat certified engineers. So final certificate, it means you have to do this one, then only you can able to do it. Entire examination is practical oriented, no theory questions. No theory questions. Maximum each exam you will get a 20 or 30 questions. 20 questions, I think so. Maximum 20 questions are there. Out of 20 questions, 20 are practical questions only. So you have to do it to pass in the examination. Like unlike your Microsoft or any other examinations, are theory-based questions. Theoretical, scenario-based theory questions. No need to type some answer there. Okay, theory based questions. Okay, in a Microsoft CCNA examination, both the theory and practical questions are there. Both theory is there, practical questions also there. You have to do it there. Here it is. It's not like it is completely practical examination. This is also practical. It is very easy to pass, but only thing is you need a full training is required. Okay, so whatever it is, this is about a Red Hat certificate. Just okay, guys, what are I done? So what I told. So Linux is basically a kernel. So when you say Linux is open source, Linux is open source means you can take source code. You can take source code, develop the code as per your requirement, client requirement, as per a requirement, that is enough, as per a requirement, and you can redistribute. Okay, you can redistribute. So that is called a open source. Linux is a open source. and it is a free operating system. So mostly it is free operating system. A lot of people having a doubt, sir. Open source means free only. No, 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 no. Open source means the source code is free. The source code is free. You can able to change the source code. Free or paid, whatever it is, source code is open, means you can able to read the source code, you can manipulate the source code, and you can develop the source code, and you can redistribute the source code. That is called a source code. For example, last time I heard something like TikTok. TikTok application source code is available. Like if you want to create some web application is like a TikTok kind of application you want to create, the source code is available. So you have to pay for a source code. Then you can develop with your way of version, and you can redistribute it. Like share chat is there, so many other MX TikTok is there, like that. No? So Instagram reels are there. So common platform maybe you can develop, like a YouTube is a big application. So then different type of security things are there. If you got the source code of it, then you can develop as per your requirement, and you can redistribute it. That is called like a certain source codes are maybe free, some are paid, but source code means the open source means the source code you can able to view, you can able to manipulate, you can able to redistribute. So open source code means the source code is free to go with it. Okay, so free array we can able to read the source code. For example, Windows operating system source code is locked. You can't see what is the program written inside of operating system. Inside your operating system, what program is written, we can't see. You can't develop. You can't redistribute the Windows operating system. It completely belongs to Microsoft. And mostly free. Why mostly free? Some maybe one or two. Okay. So almost all free. It is like one or two maybe operating system. They may charge you. Maybe they ask for a registration for a supporting purpose. Mostly no support, because it's a open source type of operating system. So they don't provide any kind of support. Why? Because if you change something, you cannot able to do it. Okay. Secure. Let's never compare Windows security and Linux security. And of course, in your interview or any place, if you say Linux is more secure than a Windows operating system, yes, of course, people say agree with that one. Linux don't have a virus kind of stuff. Of course, we can able to agree with that one. But the question is how, why kind of stuff, we don't have a answer. Okay, guys.
Sir, it's secure.
My personal point. You tell me.
It's secure more than Windows, no, sir?
It is secure. That's it. Don't compare with the Windows. In general, my point of view, I'm telling. But in general, when you are going outside, you have to tell Zindabad for current parties only, any party it is, right?
Yes.
In internal feeling is which one is truth and which is not. That is you have to keep in mind. So I'm keeping in mind with my point of view is never compare Windows to Linux in the security related kind of stuff. Remaining things you can compare, but never compare Windows and Linux in a security way. Because Windows is by default it is secure. Linux is by default it's not secure. Okay. Normal people cannot understand Linux, how to work with it. But Windows is user friendly. You can able to see the Windows directly, and even the small kid can able to operate a Windows operating system. Linux, in another hand, a professional also is little bit difficult for him also sometimes. Now we are learning, so once I've opened the window, some of you get confused also. Okay, so that's the point in a Windows and Linux. It is Windows is a desktop and a server operating systems. Both are there. Linux is basically for server purpose, not for a desktop purpose. Not for a desktop purpose. So in the concerning in a security manner, it is an open source. Meaning is source code is open. Everybody knows how program is works. If you are a basic hacker, if you start you are a learning hacking kind of stuff, you can manipulate anything in a Linux. In a Linux, I told there is an exam, right? Exams are there, right? First question of this exam is how to reset root user password. How to reset root user password. Root is a administrator in the Linux. Okay, first question is you have to reset root user password. Normally for Windows operating system, you want to reset the administrator password. You forget the username or a password, you want to reset the password, you have to search in a Google, you have to search in YouTube trials, and may not be work. But in Linux, Red Hat Enterprise Linux textbooks are there. 3 textbooks are there. The first textbook itself, it will tell how to reset root user password. How to reset root user password. The textbook itself tell. Okay, so you don't have to search for any hacking websites. Root user password, you can reset. Can you tell a administrator password? A learner can able to set it. Not required a hacker, just a learner can able to set a root user password, reset a root user password. Can you say how it is secure? Windows is not like that. Okay. So like that. So Linux is secure. That's it. It does not compare with the Windows is more secure, Linux is more secure kind of stuff. It is having a security. Why? Because it's mostly CLI, and you have to secure it because it's an open source. You have to script the user allocations, access permissions, remote access permission, direct access permissions. You have to script according to it. Okay, so like that. So you have to secure your Linux server from the physical access. Okay, so like that, it is very important. So otherwise, it's not secure. It is. Okay, normal users cannot use it directly because it's not a user friendly anyway. Okay, so maybe because of that is secure. Second one is it's a CLI based, mainly it is CLI based. GUI interface is very less, so obviously it is gives another security reason. Third one is the users who are working on a Linux, they should secure the machine by doing encryption techniques or giving a passwords or permissions changes. Okay, based on that they can able to secure it. So like that only you can able to secure your Linux machine. So that's the point. Okay, it is by default Linux is not having a high level security kind of stuff. It is not there, any security is not there. So Windows is, on the other hand, it is normally by default it is very secure. Let's come to the viruses. Virus free. Why? Because of virus free, most of the viruses are created for a Windows operating system purpose. Like if you take Windows mobile phone or Apple mobile phone and as well as a our Android mobile phone, which is more secure when Windows mobile phones are more secure. Apple is more secure, and very less secure is Android only. Why? Because Android is a more popular operating system in a mobile operating system. Okay, so people who want to attack on you, so they will create some bugs or some apps or links, so attack on your Android because a lot of people use Android, that kind of stuff. It's security as well as a compromised security. Like Windows is a more popular operating system. Windows is a more popular operating system. Windows operating system desktop mainly used by billions of people. So obviously viruses and all created for attacking Windows operating system only. It does not mean it is no security, no virus attacks easily kind of stuff, but thing. Virus free. Why? Because of it is .exe files not execute. Okay. Usually the executable files won't work here. Okay. Executable files. Okay, dot executable files are regular dot win32 environment, so not support any win32 commands. No win32 kind of stuff. In the Linux, obviously self-executable things won't work in the Linux. So that's why it is virus free. So here it is. Linux is a very important thing is Linux kernel, Linux open source developed by Linus Torvalds. Okay, and it is secure. Okay, and other features of Linux is like security in the meaning of file level security. Each file you can give permissions like a NTFS type of permissions. You can give read write permissions. You can give user level security. You know, in Linux, without a password, you can't log in into the Linux also. User level like security, file level security. Okay. So one more level security. Yeah. You can do encrypt the data. You can encrypt the data also possible. You can schedule the task. Okay, so you can task scheduling is also there. Task scheduling, process management is very good in used for server purpose only. Use it for a server purpose. Okay, not for a desktop purpose. Not a desktop wise it is. It's a powerful CLI is there. Less GUI. Less GUI. More CLI. More CLI. Less GUI. Okay. So that is a very important thing in a Linux, and it is a case sensitive. Case sensitive.
Sir,
Tell me.
the powerful CLI means what is meaning of CLI, sir?
Command line interface. Graphic user interface GUI. So graphic means, so we are using graphical. Windows is graphical user interface. So what you do is like if I want to open this file directly, I can able to open. If I want to open this folder, I can open this application directly, right? So that is a graphical user interface. CLI command line interface. So everything, okay, so everything, so we do in a commands mode only. So you have to type the command, then only we can able to do it. For example, you want to create a file, then you have to use the command line only. When in Windows, GUI is more powerful, means maximum task we'll do in a GUI mode only. Very less we use CLI. Very less we use CLI. Okay, in Linux it is reverse. CLI is more powerful, means maximum task we do in CLI, and GUI, even though GUI is there, GUI is a completely optional. GUI completely optional. Okay, with GUI, without GUI also we can able to install. Okay, even though GUI you have a GUI, that is very thing. Next one is TUI interface is also there in a Linux. Okay, so TUI is there also there. It is text based user interface, text based or a terminal based. That is by I will show you that one by nm using a one command nmtui. That's I will show you TUI part. Okay. Again, what are the things we miss? Less CLI case sensitive. It is a case sensitive. It means cap letters, small letters are different. In Windows, it's not a case sensitive. Okay, so it is used for server purpose only, and we can do scheduling the task. Remote access with SSH secure socket layer. So remote access, irreflexible remote access is there, or VNC is also there. Okay, so that's the main important CLI based. So SSH is a CLI based, not RDP type. Multi-user. This is a main feature. Multi-user, multitasking type. Multi-user, multitasking type. Linux is developed by Linus Torvalds. And why the Linux name came up, you know, there is a Unix operating system. So the Unix operating system is very less distributions. Okay, less distributions because of it's not a open source. If your organization required by Linux, you have to pay for the source code. Okay, you have to pay for the source code. So Linux is another hand. It is very less distributions, not a open source. The distributions of Linux is HP, POIX, okay, Solaris from Sun Microsystems. Does anybody have an idea of Sun Microsystem other products? Now, Sun Microsystem is also merged in Oracle.
Java.
Yes, Java, MySQL, Solaris.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Never forget Sun Microsystem, guys. Just like you know, in social media, it says, no, never forget your ancient history kind of stuff. But Sun Microsystem made that one, or ancient history type. Okay. Yeah, that is there is IBM is also involved in that one. BSD is there. IBM related operating system is also there. ASB 100 something is there. Something is. I am not having guarantee in this one. Just go through it. Linux is one of the distributions of okay, portable operating system. Like so, different type of distributions of Unix is there. It is actually developed by Bell Labs only. Okay, developed by Bell Labs. Can anybody tell what are the product from the Bell Labs? First year of engineering. Something you learn.
Bell Labs.
C language.
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, I learned in diploma that one, and you forget.
Developed by Bell Labs.
Okay, so these are the distributions. One of the distribution is Linux. So Linus Torvalds took Linux kernel. Linus Torvalds took Unix kernel part, small part, and developed develop Linux kernel and distribute open source. So anybody can able to download directly from the internet and they can able to download. Okay. So there is a two terminologies are there, GPL and GNU, like this. They given GNU, sorry. GNU means GNU Not Unix. It means Linux is not Unix kind of stuff. Okay. So GPL means General Public License. Okay. Like this. So they licensed with the GPL and they made this Linux as a GNU. So GNU Linux. Sometimes Linux is also called as a unique like OS. Unix like a OS. It is a because of the kernel and the shell is almost the basic commands and basic functionality is like a Unix only. Is like a Unix only. Even Unix is very limited distributions, but Unix is also very powerful operating system in the mainly mainframe computers. Right? Mainframes also they use in the Linux, but it is a limited distributions, limited control only there. Okay, limited servers only it will work, not in everything. Guys, this list I will share one PDF. I will search and I will give you that PDF. In that one, the list of Unix distributions are there, so compulsory go for it. So actually, I want to start with this part, but I told a theory. I think you feel okay with that one or not. Okay, so so it is a open source, no support, mostly free operating system. It is secure, file level secure, user level secure. We can encrypt the data. Okay, so it is a virus free because of regular Win32 executable files won't work in the Linux. We can schedule a task and it is used for a server purpose, powerful CLI and less GUI. It is a case sensitive remote access with the SSH and multiple user multitasking is there. Multi-user multitasking. Okay, it is a multi-user multitasking type. Okay, which is developed by Linus Torvalds. Okay, Linus Torvalds actually took a Unix kernel only and it is developed into Linux kernel. Okay, and is distributed as an open source with the license of GNU. And different Unix distributions are so there. Unix is very less distributions and it is not even open source. So everybody can able to access, but limited access and development in the Unix. So Linux is one of the distributions of. So distributions of Linux is Red Hat Enterprise Linux, Fedora, Oracle, CentOS, Debian, Ubuntu, Linux Mint, and there are so many others like a scientific Linux. If you want, you can put a scientific Linux. Scientific Linux. See, scientific Linux. It is also enterprise Linux. It is also a enterprise Linux, Debian, Ubuntu, like that it is. So depends upon Linux, very small changes are there. Okay. So there is a small parts also there. I will cover the theory part anyway. Okay. So here it is. Kernel. So what is this Linux kernel? Sorry. Yes, I didn't told about a history of operating system, means the total things of operating system or not. But OS means an operating system. Operating system which interacts with your hardware and user, runs applications or commands. Is your operating system. Okay, your operating system. So operating system is nothing but a program. It is nothing but a program. So this is your operating system, the first one. Second, SOS. Already I think I told this thing. Please tell me.
Network operating system.
Network operating system.
Network operating system. Simple OS means MS-DOS and normal Windows desktop type. Okay, Windows 10 or Windows 11, Windows 7, Windows 8, like this. Some examples. Network operating systems, Windows Server, maybe 2016, maybe 2019, Linux, Unix. These are the network operating systems. And in the operating system, there is a things like a single user, single tasking type, single user, multitasking, multi-user, multitasking. Linux is multi-user, multitasking type. We need abbreviations or okay, people know.
Yeah, sir, we are okay with that.
Okay, so single task. Same thing like a single user, multitask,
Multi-user, multitask.
multi-user, mm, multitask. Multitask. Okay, so here it is, single user, single task, only task. Single user multitask is Windows operating system. Why Windows operating system? Why? Because of in a Windows operating system rule is one system, one system, one user can log in at a time. So you have a 2 users, 3 users, 5 users. But in one system, only one user can able to log in at a time, either directly or remotely. Remotely or directly, only one user can able to log in. If one user is log in, other user cannot work on it. So that's a single user multitasking type Windows operating system. Linux and Unix. Linux and Unix is also is a multi-user multitasking. It means one single server, multiple users can able to log in either directly or maybe through remotely. Also, we can able to access. And multiple users are log in. It means it is automatically doing different tasks. So that is multi-user multitasking type of operating system. Okay, these are the basics of operating system. One point I'm missing. Linus Torvalds, that point. Anything about Linux kind of stuff? Yes. Kernel. Every operating system is two parts are there. OS is kernel and shell. Two things are there. It's also a very compulsory question. So, what is a latest kernel version? Next, how to check kernel version in Linux? So, these are the two important questions. I think it is a 5.39 something is there, and this is the U namespace -r. Okay, this the answer is U namespace -r. So kernel latest version, that is again you have to search in a Google only. Okay, so you can download a linux.org is there, so you can able to find what is the latest version of kernel. So 5.7 it is showing, but it is June 2020. It's a June 2020. Okay, so compulsory go through any proper kernel.org. Okay, so 5.17 it is showing as per this 5.16.5 latest release. So you can put at least remember 5.15. 5.16. Okay, if you forget this also at least 5.16, 5.15, yeah, maybe it is a old version like that. 5.17 maybe future. Guys, in the releases, two type of releases are there. One is stable release, another one is streaming mainline. It means it is about to release. In future it will about. It's not a stable version. It's a stable version. Stable currently it is 5. You can download this one and also you can able to build your things. Okay, so build your own operating system. Kernel. So when it is comes to the kernel interacts with hardware. It means CPU, RAM kind of stuff. Kernel interacts with your hardware. Okay, motherboard, hardware devices like that. Okay, so understand how to work with it. It will understand how to work with it, how to communicate with it. So like that it is interacts with your hardware. Kernel managements are a process management. Kernel managements are a process management, disk management. Kernel management is a process management, disk management, network management. Like it is also just some highlights of a network management, printer management. Okay, printer management. That's also hardware part, right? So printer management is also hardware part, process management, disk management, memory management. Anything is related to the hardware. Okay, process management, CPU and process, like how to execute commands one by one based on their priorities. Disk management, how to store a data, so how to connect it to a disk or a drives. Disk management. Network, so we are using network so that we have to communicate, how to send a packets and all. Memory management, RAM and swap memory management, RAM management, swap memory management. Okay, like this. A user management is not a user management. Okay, so these are the main things. Maybe one or two things you can, if you want, you can add it. That shell is interacts with user, interacts with user, and runs user commands, and not only user commands and applications. Application means you're running an application, it runs on your shell only. Interact with user, runs an application. Okay, install application, runs application, commands response. Command response is also same thing. Runs user commands or applications. Okay, so what are the different types of shells are there, guys? Bourne shell. On shell. So some people write this is a SH. The shell represent SH. Bourne shell. Maybe the Bourne again shell. It is a developed version of Bourne shell. It is also called as bash shell. We are all using bash shell only. We are all using in both Windows, both Linux and Unix. We are using bash shell. We are using bash shell. Okay, if you are going to lighter means older, it is shell or a bash shell. We are using shell or a bash shell. Shell means Bourne shell. Not only this, there is a different type of shells are there. T shell, K shell, C shell, like this. Okay. Okay, this and different type of shells are there. Depends upon the developer. So which type of shell he want to use it. The bash shell is most common. Most common shell we are using. So most commonly, what shell you use it? Bash shell you are using. So I think this is one more is there, that is difference between Windows and Linux. Difference between Windows and Linux operating system is there. You can take in a reverse mode also. So what is this difference between Linux and Windows? So Linux is open source. The most common point is Linux is open source. Windows is open source.
License based.
Impossible, right?
No, sir.
Not an open source. Not even a source code. No one knows. Okay. No one knows what is the source code. No proprietary. No proprietary. Actually, the whole developer is Linus Torvalds only. So, but the proprietary. So, no proprietary. Again, what I am type. So what is why it is this spelling is so hard? Okay. No proprietary means no ownership and all. It is GNU. It is not a Linux. It is okay. No proprietary. Okay. No proprietary means there is no owner. No need to take license from anybody. It is a Microsoft. It's a proprietary. The proprietary is Microsoft. It is under Microsoft. Different distributions. No distributions. Only versions. Only versions. Windows 10 version like this. Okay. is mostly server versions OS. Okay. In the Windows, we have a desktop type operating system and server-based operating systems also there. So here it is mainly server version OS, less desktop version. Okay, less desktop, and mainly it is used for a server. Okay. Case sensitive. No case sensitive. The commands you give here, so it is capital and small, both are same. Not only a commands, the data also. File capital A1.txt, small a1.txt. In Linux, both are different. In Windows, both are same. Okay, so that is case sensitive, no case sensitive. Multi-user. That is another main advantage. Multi-user. No multi-user kind of stuff. It means multiple users can log in at a time. Multiple users, actually it is, can log in at a time. Multiple users cannot log in at a time. Remote access, we use telnet, SSH, and RDP. Here we use that one. So of course, no problem. Yes, very important. Less hardware footprint. What is less hardware footprint means? Take less consumption of. Okay, meaning is less consumes hardware resources. It is comparatively that one more hardware footprint. Comparatively more consumes more hardware resources. So this is some of the things. Of course, there is a few things like a virus-free, secure, not secure kind of stuff. So I'm not writing, but if you want to tell in interview, you can tell is like a, it is a secure, not secure, this kind of stuff. Okay, I'm not telling guys, that is I'm not okay with that sentence. Okay, secure, not secure, virus, no virus kind of stuff. I don't want to tell, because virus is a program. Virus is a program. If someone is trying to spread a virus in your PC by yourself or by your access or anything, something, if they want to put a virus inside your system, you can do it. If if Linux is the only secured one, then why our Microsoft Windows Active Directory is more popular? In the entire world for authentication, the first preference is Active Directory. The first preference is Windows Active. So you are using a environment list like a full Linux, Unix, IBM, HP. You are using all type of things, but still you need a centralized authentication system. People go for a Microsoft Windows Active Directory only. Even though you learn VMware related products like a VMware server virtualization, vSphere and all, vCenters, vCloud directories, the backend is for authentication is Active Directory only. So I don't like to say this is Windows is not a secure one kind of stuff. Okay, so that's not a actually part. Of course, virus wise, the Windows virus won't work in a Linux. Okay. Okay, that point just you have to change. Yes, this is the important question. Linux and Windows differences. Linux and Unix difference is also there, but already I mentioned few things. The Linux and Unix differences. So what are the things? Unix having a very less distributions. Linux is one of the distribution of Unix. Linux is one of the distribution of Unix by Linus Torvalds. Okay, Linux is developed by Linus Torvalds and Unix is developed by Bell Labs. Okay, so a regular operating system means like a user access kind of stuff is not there in a Unix. Means any person can download and install kind of stuff is not there in a Unix kind of stuff except Solaris. Okay, remaining distributions are company oriented. Okay, it is not a open source. The kernel is not free to everyone. Even though OS may you will get a free, but mostly it is a hardware based operating system. Unix is a hardware based operating system, means you buy this machine, you'll get this OS. You buy this machine, you'll get this OS like that. Okay, so these are the main parts of Linux. So one is there that is called a file system. File system hierarchy is there. Okay, that is I will tell next time. Okay, I can tell now also, but we need a time to practice and installation also there. Let's take a break for a 10 minutes. Okay, guys, I will tell this one maybe later. Okay, so but now we will go to the installation part. So download installation kind of stuff, that is I will tell after a small break. Just take a break for 10 minutes only, just 10 minutes. Okay, less than 10 minutes, it means 11:40. Okay, when it is installation it will take time. Okay, Gayatri present. Okay.